life assurance is a plan that a man have if he lives too long or he dies too soon. There's virtually no old person that doesn't have one ailment or the other that they are managing. Those that are complaining are not private employers. Most times they are government employers, especially Lagos State.
Financial literacy is crucial in ensuring that a family succeeds. Welcome to the Happy Family Podcast. I am Tokunbo Oluwade, fondly called Uncle Tokes, and in this pod, we have our dearly beloved family members. But before we get to meet with them, we would love you to connect with us on our social media platforms, and also would love you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'd like you to like, share, comment, and also click on the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we have newer content. Yes, this is made possible by Prowess Pictures Limited. We'll be going on a short break, and when we come back, you get to meet these amazing family members. We'll be right back. Enjoy. Welcome back. It's still the Happy Family Podcast. Yes, we're still in this pod. We have our family members, and also we have a special guest. We are going to be talking about life after retirement, and we have a pension professional in the house by the name of Samuel Olanrewaju. But before we get to meet with him, we'd like to, speak with our family members, and we'll be right back on that. Yes, Papi Sam here. Yeah, man.
Papi Sam here. See, in this life, you have to plan what will happen to you at old age. And that's the conversation that we're having today. Please join us. Open your heart once again. Learn new things. Call, share with people that need this information. You are not even too young to plan. Thank you.
Yes, we have an insurance person in the house and also a lawyer. So, the house is going to be hot today. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to you, our viewers, wherever you're watching and whatever the time is at your end. I am Oluwayemisi, and today we are bringing you an interesting topic. I've met people that worked for several years, and at the end of working for 25 years, they were not able to point at one thing as their investment or even savings, and you wonder, how come this happened to you? Did you think you were going to work for your whole lifetime? And I've also met people that had to falsify their age so that they will keep working till they were 70 years of age. And you wonder, why do you have to do this? Why do you have to do this? And I know that today's topic will help us shed some light on that, how to prevent that. And I know it will be insightful. Thank you.
Thank you,
ma'am. Yes, Emperor here. I'm excited to be on this episode of the Happy Family Show. There is this saying that you will know the truth and the truth will set you free. And what how do they say it, that if you are not informed, you will be deformed. That's why we are bringing to your view this interesting conversation on financial literacy, and it's going to benefit every member of the family. So please call everyone and keep watching.
I'm Olabisi. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, good night, good mid-afternoon, everyone. So I'm excited about the topic for today. Like what Yemisi was saying the other time, that she wonders why people would retire and at the end of the day, they couldn't even come out to say they can show off for something. I feel there's no sensitization a lot about pension and retirement. And that's why this afternoon, my ears are just I washed it before coming. I had to wash my hair so that I can hear very well. You understand? So just stay tuned. You would enjoy the show.
Thank you very much. Of course, before we our guests to speak, we have a society, or let me call this cultural setting in this society, that when you bring a certain insurance policy, for example, a life insurance policy to the table, and the next thing people ask you, are you saying I'm going to die very soon, or like? But of course, before
just the society we find ourselves. We
Yeah.
really don't know the importance. I think the importance has not yet been emphasized that much.
Okay, and that's why we have our special
Yeah,
guest here.
that's
So he's
why
going
we
to
have it.
emphasize
Yeah,
on that. In the Western clime,
yeah.
insurance is a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It can literally
Yeah.
destroy your life if you don't plug into it. Like, for example, we just buy cars and pay one token for insurance
Mhm.
in this part of the world. But abroad, there is a stipulated amount depending on the number of years the car had been in existence to determine, how much will be paid. And if you fail on it, you hit someone or you bash another person's car and you are not insured.
I'm sure it's finished.
Yes.
Funny.
So welcome aboard our special guest, Samuel Olariwaju.
Thank you for having me.
It's so good to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
I've known you a while. And ever since I met this man, he just started attacking me with insurance. I mean, yes. And it was on my neck, like, what insurance plan do you have? This one, this is what I have, so on and so forth. So this is your life. I mean, it's like you enjoy what you do.
I love it.
Like I met someone who loves marketing. Everybody runs away from marketing. Hey, marketing. But this guy loves marketing. Now, you love insurance. Interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I enjoy it because of the value I give to it and how I can help people out of the issues that they have. Most people don't even know that there's an issue until the issue finally comes. So a lot of people feel that, until something happens before I do something, but you must do something before something drastic happens. And that's why insurance is important. It's not a necessity. It's important for everybody to have it. So when I do that, when people begin to enjoy the benefits, I'm happy because I'm making somebody happy. I'm making a family happy. I'm putting solutions on the table for someone one way or the other.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, this topic is life after retirement with a focus on pension. In secondary school, I remember they taught us about a little bit about insurance. They mentioned pension, the little knowledge we have, then the few things we bumped into, people coming to meet us and say, why don't you buy this insurance plan? So on and so forth. So we'd like you to, educate us what pension is, because I was hearing something prior to this and I'm like, oh, I don't even know so much about this subject matter. Yep. So pension. Yeah.
Okay, so before I delve into pension, let me delve into life insurance. Let me speak a little bit about life insurance and I'll link it into how pension works into a plan. So basically, I will tell people in a layman's term that life assurance is a plan that a man have if he lives too long or he dies too soon.
So it's two-edged.
If a man lives too long,
There's a plan.
there's a plan. If he dies too soon, there's a plan. That's what life assurance has come to give everyone. So what happens if a man lives too long? So if a man lives too long, he would probably not be able to work and earn income for himself. And so he will need money to take care of himself because old age is expensive. It comes with health issues, comes with expenses. There's virtually no old person that doesn't have one ailment or the other that they are managing. And you need money to take care of yourself. If you don't have money, you grow older than your age. You see some people at 50, they are looking like 90 because there's not enough money to take care of themselves. So life insurance can provide the money for you to continue living if you have actually taken up, which is pension, retirement basically, not even pension now. It's retirement plan that you should have. So the other subject matter is if a man dies too soon, which no man has power over life. So, today, so many people have died, young, old, father of someone or the other, but life insurance can provide the money that can let the family continue enjoying life even after the sole breadwinner of the family dies, so that they can continue the standard of life that they should have. So life insurance can provide such money. So that's what life insurance is all about. So basically on a subject matter, which is pension, because if I begin to talk about life insurance, we may spend a whole... So looking at pension, which is what happens if a man lives too long, how does life insurance provide money for such a person? If you can get a retirement plan for yourself, such that when you are young, you begin to set aside something small towards your own retirement, and then by the time you get to a certain age that you have set for yourself, basically 45 and above, 50, 60, which is the maximum age is around 60, 65, at least you would have accumulated wealth for yourself. You can accumulate wealth for yourself, not necessarily, a lot of people feel that we hit one jackpot or one business will just come down, we just hit it. What if it doesn't happen? So, but if it happens, good. But if it doesn't happen, you already have a plan that when I get old, I have something that I can fall back to, which will now begin to take care of me. And you can now use that to take care of yourself, or probably reinvest such that funds can now be working for you. You are not now working for money at old age. So because when you get old, money should be working for you. You should not be working for money.
Indeed, Mr. Olanrewaju.
Yes.
So you are very welcome on the show.
Thank you.
You have used the two words interchangeably. I really, just for our education, what is the difference between pension and retirement?
Okay, so pension basically is a statutorily a way of getting benefits for those who have spent long time in their employment, having retired for a period of time, then they begin to get their benefits after retirement. So the maximum age for retirement is 50, like I said. So when some people still keep working even after 50, depending on the organization where they are working, but statutorily 50, if you retire, you can access your pension.
Yeah, but what about retirement?
So, but for retirement is also similar to pension, but retirement helps you to, is not limited, just like pension is limited. Like someone can say, I want to retire at age 45. You can do that if you've started planning for it, but you can't do that for your pension because the regulation says 50. So that's the difference.
So if you're not up to 50,
If you're not up to 50,
you can't access.
you can't access your
So
pension.
what if you stop working before 50?
So the regulation gives room for access to 25% of what you have in your pension, while your balance still remains till you are 50.
Okay, if I stop before 50, that means I can approach any pension authority I use and they can give me 25%.
25% of what you have as your balance,
Okay,
just
so-
to cushion the effect that, probably loss of job or you're out of work. And
Oh, okay. So what if I'm 50 and I want to have all my pension to myself?
Okay, so when you are 50, the regulation does not allow you to get the fund in lump sum. That's what you're saying. Now, okay, I want to get all my fund in lump sum. So the regulation only allows you to start accessing your pension in a monthly pay check, just like the way they are paying you salary, So because that fund is supposed to be given to you, like to take care of someone at old age.
Replace what the salary was.
Salary
doing
was
then.
before
Okay.
then, because over time usually I think there's a period when they used to give the lump sum benefits to retirees, but you but you find out that it's only a big issue for most organizations where they are, after collecting that money, someone who is not used to investments, used to businesses, who has been used to monthly salary paycheck, suddenly grabs a lump sum of benefit, throw it into a business, and the money goes down the drain suddenly because they are not used to it.
So, how early should we start thinking of applying for retirement or pension, whichever is appropriate?
Sam, as we look at, when should we start? I
Yes.
think I would still like to understand, differentiating between pension and gratuity. You said pension is
Retirement.
You talked about
pension and
retirement.
retirement. Thank you.
Yeah.
You said pension is statutory. So I want to understand: can I go to approach a pension broker myself and say I want to, or which one can I do by myself? How do I handle it?
Okay, so what you can do, I mean, you can have both plans at the same time. So, I mean, when you work in an organization, it's a necessity that organization,
Both private sector and
private and public, yes, it's a must that you must have. As far as your employer is more than 5, you should have a pension plan for them. Yes, yes, is under the law, you have the right to sue such organizations if they don't have a pension plan for their staffs. But a lot of organizations run away from it because most employers probably, because of, they have their own quota to pay. They pay 10% of
10%.
your salary. 8% is being taken from your own salary. So most organizations run away from that 10% because they don't want to be. They avoid it. So what was that question again?
Can I do it myself?
Can you do it yourself? Yeah, you can choose the pension that you want your funds to be taken to if your organization allows you to choose, but you cannot pay into the account yourself. For pension, you cannot pay any amount, even if you have all the whole money. You can't pay money. Payment is made through the company because it is subject to your income. 8%. The regulation says 8% of your salary, and your employer pays 10% of that same amount, which makes up what is being remitted on a monthly basis into the pension account. A lot of organizations, some organizations, shy away from paying their own part. So hence they will not even open if I open pension for you, that's when you would ask me to pay. 10%. They will not even open a pension account. They won't encourage it for their staff because they don't want to pay it, But if you can sue them, I mean, you should sue them for not doing that, But this is Nigeria. A lot of people just
head of company deducting the 8% and not paying,
not still remitting
it into the pension account.
That happens, but then your pension office can now be the one to take up that. They can take up that fight that this person's retirement payments should be remitted. They will request for it, and also you can also take up the challenge to also report them to the pension office.
So can I walk up to pension office like I know the pension my company is using? I can walk up to them and say, I want to check my pension accounts.
You don't even
check my balance. I want to see.
Online.
You don't even need to go as far as going to the office. We have most pension offices have made it so flexible and easy for you to access your balance. Some of them even send your statements on a quarterly basis. Some of them send on a monthly basis. And then there are apps that you can use to also check your balance every now and then. Like my own company now, even on a WhatsApp, we have an AI that just requests for your statements and immediately.
So you mentioned life assurance, you mentioned pension, you mentioned retirement. So what's the link between the three? And what's the difference?
Okay, so the thing is, pension is not a life assurance product. Pension is just pension. So but where is now linked is that some life assurance, not all life assurance company, are also doing a pension plan. So there's something we call annuity and program withdrawal. So the annuity plan is being done by a licensed life insurance company, not all insurance company. Yes, and so the annuity plan is a plan that pays a retiree for life as long as they are living. Okay. While the pension, which is being handled by PFA, pension fund administrators, that is where they are being remitting the fund. It's been. What they do is called programmed withdrawal. So at retirement, a pensioner or a retiree can now choose where he wants or how he wants his fund to be paid. So you have two options to decide how you want your fund to be paid. Okay. So annuity pays you till death. As long as you are living, even if you have exhausted your fund, the life insurance is saddled with the responsibility to keep paying you till death, even though you have exhausted your fund. Whereas for the program withdrawal, it is being paid within a stipulated lifespan period of time, after which you have exhausted your fund, then they
over.
cease to pay you.
So what are those things we will do to subscribe to the annuity and the other one that you called?
So upon retirement, if someone only has a pension plan, he doesn't have a retirement plan or other funds or personal funds to buy retirement, because you can actually buy it when you are at 45 and upward. So if you are using only your pension, you must be 50. And then once you are 50, at the point of retirement, you walk up to your PFA, that's your pension fund administrator. They tell you what your balance is, and then you do your processing, having known that you are only you can only access 25% or 50% of what you have there, depending on the agreement your institution have with the PFA. So what you can access in lump sum will be paid, then the balance will now be paid on a monthly basis to you. So, but then at the point of doing that processing, you can now say, okay, I don't want, after my lump sum has been paid, my balance should be forwarded to a licensed insurance company of your choice. Or if you're not comfortable with, because some people have issues around going to the insurance company, so some of them says, okay, I will prefer the program withdrawal, depending on how knowledgeable you are. If you know what annuity is and what program withdrawal is, it's about knowledge. So if you don't know what the benefit of this, whatever you prefer, you choose your choice.
It's very technical.
That's not why we have a pension broker like you.
Yes.
No, I'm talking about if I'm dealing with an insurance organization in this regard, is that not their duty to explain and educate me so that I'm able to make informed decisions?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what you want to say something?
No.
So basically what we do is, we go all out, sensitize, go to institutions, encourage them on how these plans work, But most times the PFA has a upper hand, so to speak, because they are the one who is nurturing the fund right from inception when you join the organization.
Nurturing the fund.
Yes.
Because you have said two things in the course of our discussion. You said nurturing the fund. You said you check what your balance is.
Yes.
So, and as you were saying all those things, I was wondering that Nigeria is a country that has experienced a lot of inflation in the past 20 years. So just imagine that for the past 25 years, I've been saving something. Is my money really going to be worth anything today? Or does this money appreciate? At what rate does it appreciate? Or is just what I garbage in, garbage out? I'm able to contribute ₦1 million over 10 years, and that is my account balance. How does it work?
Okay, so for the pension, there are, depending on the institution you are having your pension with, of course, there is a part of it that goes for investment, so that even if you are contributing fund, that money is also invested. By the time you are retired, it will have accrued kind of interest.
Investment. Sorry, I'm sorry. The investment, is it done in individuals' name? That, okay, this money, this pension is for this person, and we are using it for investments. So it's actually done in my name.
Okay, so while you are in active service, the fund is being managed as a pool with the PFA. So they invest part of it, and that's why you can check your balance and see, it has accrued some level of. So, but at retirement, then it can be invested individually. So you are at risk. If you are, the risk is being you are the one carrying the risk now. After retirement, if you have chosen to do a program withdrawal with the PFA, so you are the one who is carrying the risk. If they make loss, if they make gain, the risk is transferred to you.
You have not clarified something.
Okay.
If they make losses, they are talking about the pension.
After retirement.
After retirement.
You have chosen.
Okay. Whatever happens to your money with you, with your business.
Is your business.
Okay.
Even though you cannot access all the fund, yes, you are still with the PFA, but the PFA manage the fund individually. Do you understand?
I'm lost.
You are lost. There's a way they manage the fund individually. So whatever risk that occurs, you are the one who bears the risk. But for the annuity plan, the risk has been transferred. That's where life insurance comes in. So the risk is, life insurance is about risk, So your fund now has been transferred to the life insurance company, where whether they make loss or gain is none of your business. My business is you are going to pay me this till death do us part.
I have a question as regards life insurance. In this part of the country, in this part of the world, or let me say in this country, people often say insurance is a scam because you pay something in, and when it's time to take out, the insurance companies will start
especially your car insurance.
Yes,
and all that.
even people that
trigger you.
insure goods, sometimes they will start playing games and telling them this one is not this one is not that. So as regards that life assurance, you're saying that it's for if you live too
Long or
short
dies too soon.
or whatever. Sorry, that's where exactly that you put it. I want to say this. Okay, so you're saying that in a person's lifetime, the person is entitled to get the life assurance. Like, I can if I put money in life assurance now, I can withdraw it whenever I want.
All right. So the way we do our life insurance is in this part of the world is not only tied towards until the person dies, unlike the way we do it in the Western world, where you must die, you have to die before you can actually benefit something. But here we are also tied a level of savings and investment into our life insurance, such that, which is part of what we are talking about, the retirement plan. So you can target having a retirement plan for yourself, that when I get to 60, I want to have 100 million in my retirement savings account. But there's a level of life insurance that is embedded in that plan, such that, what if nothing happens by the time I'm 60 or by the time I'm 50, depending on what you have planned, you access your fund with return on investment. Now, what if life happens? Because something happened some few months ago. This woman has been contributing how much? Maybe 200,000 monthly and quarterly towards our plan. And 6 months down the line, something happened and life happened. Let me put it that way. She died. The life insurance, we had to pay a huge sum of money, which is this, we call it sum assured. So that huge sum of money still helps the family to still continue with life. So you can access your money if life happens. You can access your money if life does not happen.
And you have long life. But what I still don't understand is this, the return on investment. Because if I put over a period of 20, 30 years, if I'm able to, say, contribute 20 million naira, but my 20 million naira for the past 20 years is not worth 20 million naira 20 years ago or 10 years ago, due to time value of money.
Yes.
Time value of money.
Yes.
So my money has depreciated. For example, within the last 2 years in Nigeria, we have experienced more than 30% inflationary rate. So at what rate does this investment, this savings, am I just saving money, or my money is going to appreciate at a commensurable rate?
Yeah, so if you're taking a retirement plan for the one we have now, you're taking up a retirement plan for 20 years, for example, do you know that with just 20,000 naira, as low as 20,000 naira is monthly savings, can actually you can actually achieve 10 million naira in 20 years.
Okay.
And if you punch your calculator, how much is naturally 20,000 naira in 20 years? That's 4.8 million. So what you have paid, what you have paid is 4.8 million.
So there's an appreciation.
So even if the economy goes bad, whatever, you have not lost money.
You have lost money. You have lost money in my estimation.
I tried asking a question earlier and I've not gotten an answer.
Let me quickly clarify him a little bit.
Sorry, let me before you clarify, just to help your clarification. So that's 100%, about roughly 100% increase.
Yes.
So if you look at 100% increase over 20 years, okay, I did not contribute all the money in 20 years. If you look at it over 20 years, it looks to me like 5%, 10% increase. But the inflation of my country could go as much as 20%, 30%.
Okay.
So I'm still losing money.
Okay.
Let me understand.
Okay, let me help you understand. The truth is you have not lost money.
Okay.
And how do I mean when I say you have not lost money? You are looking at 4.8 million as a whole. You are not looking at the fact that you didn't pay 4.8 million as a whole. So don't forget that inflation is happening to the insurance company itself with the fund you are giving.
20,000.
And we are not going to charge you that, oh, inflation is happening, oh, so your 20,000 naira, you must pay more. Because as inflation is happening to the fund that you are looking at in 20 years, it's also happening to where we are also invested the fund too. So it's happening to everyone. So, but the fact is, you are doing, because it will take 20 years for the company to also put up 4.8 million together. Unlike if you are doing a lump sum deposit for 20 years, you might probably, you will get much more than that. So give and take, you have not lost money. You are only setting aside funds. But guess what? Let me even put it in another context. Let's even assume that you're not even getting return on investment. Let's assume that we are just giving you back. Let's assume that we are just giving you back what you have. It's not a bad idea to have a savings plan for yourself, whether you like it or not. Because in 20 years' time, it's possible that you will still not be able to have that bulk lump sum in your account. I mean, she was talking earlier about someone has worked for 35, 40 years, and you'll be wondering, you have worked all these years. How come you're not even able to set aside something for yourself? Just because of some factors around, the expenses is too high, I have a lot of responsibilities, But if you have started putting something aside, at the end of your retirement, you already have something you can fall back to. Even if the fund, is not big enough, but at least you have something that can now begin to be used to probably reinvest in other business. So it's easy to say, money is not enough, but it's better to have it rather than not having it at all. That's going to be disastrous.
All right. So I still need that question answered, really, because we have viewers that needs this knowledge that how early can we start all of these things we were talking about? Like how early can we start it?
And when will be too late?
Okay, maybe.
Sincerely, it can be too late. So, how early should you start? Should be immediately you start working and you start earning money, no matter how small it is.
That's for pension, right?
That's
any form, both pension and retirement. So, in fact, even if you have pension, you should have retirement.
Retirement is more beneficial. Maybe.
To you? So too.
Yes, I feel the retirement
It's more
is
robust.
beneficial.
It's more robust in terms of benefit that works around it, and you can, and then you are not limited to an employer, such that if you leave your employer today, what if you go and start your own business? You cannot pay into that account again. But if you have a retirement plan for yourself, you can continue your savings and still keep maintaining that account.
Papi Sam, we'll come back to this question, please. We would like to go on a short break, and when we come back, of course, the conversation is still on. A whole lot to learn. Don't go nowhere. We're right back. Welcome back. It's still the Happy Family Podcast, and we have an interesting convo ongoing. Life after retirement. We still have our special guest in the house, Samuel Olanrewaju, spitting fire on insurance, pension, retirement plan, so on and so forth. Of course, still so much more to learn and still so many questions to be asked. But before we went on that short break, Papi Sam was about asking a question. And yes, we're going back to him. Papi Sam.
All right. I just wanted more clarity on how soon we should start, and then how entrepreneurs like me can really get into this, and what are the prospects therein.
Of course, he already settled the house soon. I believe that was settled.
Yes.
No, it was still
working.
So I said, as soon as you start earning, no matter how small, even if you are earning 10,000 naira, start saving 1,000. If you are earning 20,000,
so I can buy a plan with 1,000 naira. Is that what you're saying? In Nigeria of today, 1,000 naira can buy a plan.
I'm just giving an
instant.
instant.
No, please give an instant that we can work with. What will be the minimum?
Okay, so as low as 10,000 naira.
Okay.
No matter how bad your
Monthly.
income is, you can do a savings for yourself. And while your income increases, probably promotion comes in along the line. I mean, you're not going to remain stagnant. You can now increase what you're doing as your income increases. But the fact is, start doing something, no matter how small. So,
Entrepreneurs.
so as an entrepreneur, have your personal retirement plan for yourself. Because, well, I usually don't like answering the question as low as, because most times as an entrepreneur, you have goals. You have something you are working towards to that, okay, I want to retire with XYZ. So someone who wishes to have 100 million naira, because at the end of the day, probably the entrepreneur wants to have the retirement and then have the fund to begin to push back into their investment, and they have targets. So you can begin to work with a certain specific, how much will it cost me to do 100 million? How much will it cost me to do 50 million? How much will it cost me to do 20 million? If it's something you can afford, then start working towards it. But if you say, they say I should just do 10,000 naira, at the end of the day, what will 10,000 naira amount to you in the next 10, 15 years or 20 years that you have, if you have up to 20 years? Because somebody who's already 50 cannot have a retirement plan with a life insurance company, can have it in another savings investment, but with a life insurance company, you won't be able to do that. So if you must have a savings plan with a life insurance company, there are so many things that determines what you benefit in terms of your age, because the age is also a limitation. I mean, by the time you are 60, you should not be saving. You should be investing. Your funds should be working for you. So we look at that parameter as well. And then you should begin to save what your target is. You can tie it to what target amount. Oh, I'm targeting this amount of money. And then you begin to pay. Or,
so are you saying there is an age that the insurance company will refuse to?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, once you are 55, 60 years of, you can buy a life insurance, but you cannot buy a retirement plan.
Okay.
Oh, really?
So
once you are 60, naturally, or if you buy the retirement plan, it's more expensive to do that.
Talking about tens of millions and all.
Okay, let me give you a quick analysis. Let's even assume you want to retire with 10 million naira, as small as 10 million naira is, which is not small. So, and you're already 60. And the duration, the maximum age for any life insurance is 65. So that means you have 5 years.
5 years, okay.
So 5 years, which means that 5 years you want to achieve 10 million naira, which means per year you should be doing 2 million, give and take.
Okay, so you're saying for the retirement plan, there is always a set goal, like by the end of that period, you must have achieved that.
Yes.
So okay, let me cite an example. If someone starts a retirement plan, let's say as early as 30, and the person gets out of work for a short while, let's say maybe for about 5-10 years, might not be a short while, and could not continue the plan for that period, and the person comes later and at the end of the term, though, yes, the person is still not able to achieve the retirement plan goal. What will happen to the money?
So what will happen to the money is it will be paid back with accrued bonus based on the balance that is in the account.
Okay, but
so you won't lose your money.
Okay, if a person achieves the goal, what will be the benefit?
Same thing as you do your face in the mirror, so you achieve it.
So the thing is, how about people that start life very late and they still want to do insurance and all of those things?
So
Can't time be extended for them?
No. The year cannot be extended. The only thing you can, like I said, there are different insurance plans that you can have.
Okay.
So, but because of the subject matter we are talking about is retirement pension, that's why I'm narrowing it. So, for someone who is 70, old age, 65, there are life insurance plans that we have for them.
Okay.
So those kind of life insurance are not the one for retirement plan, which is our subject matter.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not really delving into it more.
There was a phrase you said. You said, this is Nigeria, while you are trying to, explain, one of the points there. And of course, this is Nigeria. There is usually this skepticism when it comes to funds, financial institutions, and investments. And we also have the cultural and social mindset of the average person who believes if you talk about insurance, you are trying to quicken their death, so on and so forth. That's one side. The second side is that this is Nigeria. Anything can happen. For example, some years ago, Ukraine had a war breakout. So if I put my funds in an institution, an insurance firm, what's the surety that if there's a breakdown of law and order in that society, Nigeria, for example, I will still have my funds intact? Or there is an economic meltdown that is crippling organizations. What's the surety that my money is truly insured?
Okay, so there are conditions around life insurance. There are conditions around retirement plans as well. So if you have picked up a retirement plan, if let's say issues happen generally, to what example will I use now?
There's a breakdown of law and order.
There's a breakdown of law and order that does not affect your savings with the pension.
There's a financial, the economic meltdown that actually rocked the world. 2008, several organizations, crumbled and all. What assurance do I have? For example, in Nigeria today, commercial banks are insured in a certain way via what they call that stuff? CBN.
Yes. NDIC.
Okay, NDIC.
Still an insurance company.
Okay. Oh, NDIC is
National Deposit Insurance.
National.
Yes.
But that's national.
National.
It's still the company that insures banks.
Okay, that insures banks.
Yes.
Okay. So, man, this is Nigeria. You said it. This is Nigeria. What's the surety?
Okay, so
that nothing will go wrong 20 years from now if I start a plan.
Okay, so 20 years.
Okay.
20 years.
I was trying to understand this question in this way. Like, are we sure this company will survive?
Like,
if something happens to this company, will I still be able to get my money
back?
For banks, if they want to have any problem now, we already know that rather than fold up, there will be a merger or acquisition or whatever.
Yeah.
So what is the guarantee?
All right. So just the way it works in the banking sector, the bank has CBN as the regulatory body. The insurance company has a NICOM, which is National Insurance Commission, as their regulatory body.